Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Dwayne, and today we're back with another tone recreation video with the Quad Cortex. So what I like to do is I like to take a song and then guide you through the process of how I go about recreating the tone from it. It's not perfect. We are comparing to album tones, but where possible, I do have stems that I've created or found that I can use to kind of guide our way through recreating the tone. So today, we're going to be doing Do I Want to Know by the Arctic Monkeys, that iconic guitar riff at the start. I've got my Charvel DK24 Pro mod. It's kind of my everything guitar. I realize this is probably not what Alex Turner plays. We're going to try and sculpt a tone with this and see where we get. So I have a pretty good idea straight off the bat of how I'm going to tackle this, just because this song isn't new. I have learned to play it before. I've got a tab just in case because I don't remember completely how to play it. But basically, what we're going to do here is we're going to go through Equipboard real quick and see what Alex has got. I know he's got a lot of boutique equipment and stuff, so just to kind of see if anything stands out. I have my own preconceived notions about how this tone is going to be built in my head. We're going to look through here and see what Alex has. And straight off the bat, I mean, 50 guitars, 20 amplifiers, 30 effects pedals. That doesn't necessarily mean he's using that all at once. This kind of tracks, over time, and Arctic Monkeys have been around for a bit. So the thing I'm interested in is amplifiers. So as expected, I assumed that he was using a Vox. You got a couple of different variants there. Looks like he's combining that with something else that he was playing on Jay Leno. Orange amplifiers, some really cool stuff going through here. So my hunch here is that a Vox AC30 could do the trick, or a Fender style amp as well. I'm inclined to go for a Vox AC30 model first and then see how we go. He's got a lot of stuff in here. Now, whether or not he's using a lot of this stuff remains to be seen, but it can kind of give us some ideas. There's a Tube Screamer, there's a Proco Rat. Okay, he's got a lot of stuff in here. A lot of this won't be used for our tone. We got some ideas in here that we can use to kind of shape our sound. We've got a blank preset here, which I've already named. And what we're going to do straight off the bat is we're going to add in an amp model. So we're going to look for the UK C30, I think it's called. And I would say probably top boost for this. We'll keep volume at 5. We'll put up the bass a little bit to 6 because we'll want some warmth in there. Treble to 7 for some clarity. We'll keep tone cut at 5. We'll try putting that on hot. It may be too hot, but we will see. For the cab, the greenback C30 speakers. Okay, so let's hear how we got so far. Yeah, I'm actually really happy with that straight at the bat. You can already kind of hear that there's that, when I hear the song, I hear like a Vox amp, but it could be also a Fender amp as well. It could be a combination of amps. That's the video done. That's it. We've got it. Just kidding. So for the overdrive, I did see he had a Proco Rat. I think it's called Rodent Drive. There it is. Oh, wow. But it's almost... So turn this down. It's almost got a fuzz quality to it as well. My first inclination with this was a fuzz, but I think we can do it with a distortion. I have the worst luck with fuzz. I don't want to cut too much of the sound out. See, that kind of has that fizziness that you would associate with the original song. I actually really am happy with how quickly this is coming along, and this may actually beat my record for quickest tone recreation. We're not going to get too confident just yet because we still got to add some things in here. Most notably, I think we need a octave pedal. You can hear it's got that 12 string sound about it. For the dry, we want it to be moderate. The octave, we'll set that to 30, and sub, we'll do 20. I think I've done this when I've done other things with the octave pedal. Kind of the dry is the highest, and then the other two kind of relatively low. Let's hear how that sounds. so I can hear some things. Firstly, it's possibly maybe this boost switch. Okay, that immediately cleans it up. The hot sound, it was just giving it... I think it had too much gain. I think we need to actually compare it to the original song. And fortunately, I've got an instrumental version of it in here. So we're going to play along to this. I think that sounds really close. We are just going to listen to this again because I can definitely hear that maybe the sound on the album's a little thinner and ours maybe a little too rich sounding. It's possible we just need to add in some other effects in there. Okay, so what I can hear on that is there's a delay. I can hear it delaying in there. And my hunch with that is it sounds kind of like chicken pickany, if that makes sense. Kind of got like that old school kind of slap back country vibe about it. So I'm going to put in a slap back delay in there. And I think stereo could be an okay option. It's not like too full on, but it is in there and I can hear it. I'm going to do feedback around 15%. That should give us about 1 repeat, I'm guessing. We don't want sync on. The delay time, we probably want to double that to 200. And let's see how... Yeah, you can kind of hear it, can't you? Let's try ping pong and see how that sounds. Okay, you can hear it's kind of got like that chicken, like... You can kind of hear it on the high. When he's playing it on those lower notes, you can hear. Yeah, I think that's probably an acceptable level of delay for now. One thing that I can also definitely hear in this song, it's got a tremolo effect in there. And the reason I say that is because it kind of gives it a sound like it's being played through a fan. You know, that choppiness of the fan blades when you speak into a fan. It's kind of got that vibe about it. So I can hear it's got quite a bit of depth in there. So I'd be more inclined to bump that up to 70. I would keep that as a sine waveform to give it a smooth modulation effect. Duty cycle, we're going to start it for 50% because I have no idea. 50% for the width because I have no idea. And I also have no idea about the smoothing effect. So... I mean, I can hear it. It sounds close. I reckon we can turn the rate up. Turn it up to 7. Needs to be a little bit faster. Yeah, you can hear it panning out there and like chopping. So I think we may have too much distortion just listening to it. And maybe the rodent drive just needs a little bit more power on there. I'm going to put a low high cut in there just to kind of clean things up. Oh, wow. Okay. I think it's only fitting that we compare this and see how it sounds. I mean, just listen to that. That actually sounds spot on to me. Obviously, there are a few little subtleties in there and differences with our tone, but you can hear it's kind of got like that slightly edge of breakup, like... This is by far the quickest preset that I've ever done, I'm pretty certain. It definitely has that similar vibe about it. I'm actually going to try and put a room reverb in there. We kind of don't want to add too much stuff into here because I think it sounds pretty good the way it is, but you'd be surprised like what a little reverb or a little slight tweak can do. We'll keep the decay about 1 there. Pre-delay, we'll put that 20 maybe. Let's hear how it sounds. We may not even need the room reverb. Hear it on the high note. The room reverb, actually, I think I like it. I think I like the room reverb because it does make it sound a bit fuller. This would make a great lead tone because of all the reverb and delay on there. I think it's only fitting that we do a playthrough. So in the actual final video, I'm recording this now, but in the final video, this is going to be cut because the song is a bit repetitive, so you can kind of hear the parts, and I don't actually know how to play it as well. So it's going to be one of those things where I'm actually going to be kind of learning how to play it again as we go along. I mean, I think that sounds really, really good. For the most part, I think we nailed this tone pretty well. It's not an overly complicated tone, but there are a few effects in there. As you can see, poly octaver in there gives it that 12 string sound. Moderate settings, the drive turned pretty high up. We've got the rodent drive with distortion at 4 and volume at 6. We didn't touch the filter. That gives it a Proco Rat kind of gives it a more of a fuzzy overdrive distortion in there. So it's definitely like, it's kind of like a fuzzy distortion, I guess. Not like a tube screamer that kind of gives it more of a, you know, an EQ little boost and clean there. You've got a tremolo with the rate set moderately, just around about 1 o'clock at 7 hertz. No sync. Usually we'd do that to your BPM, but we kind of just set the rate to what we felt like the song was. Depth turned quite high up. Got a sine waveform to make it smooth. Duty, width, and smoothing. Immediately, I don't really kind of know what they do in great detail, but I do know 50% worked for all of them, and we wanted LFO. We used the Vox AC30. We never even touched the volume. We kept that at 5. Bumped up the bass slightly, treble to 7 for clarity. We didn't cut the tone. We kept the boost at cool. We did try hot, but it was just too much gain for this song. It kind of overrode the pedal. We got a 212 matching cabinet, greenback 69. We did end up adding a room reverb. You can see the mix is low. So it's a really subtle room reverb, but it does fill it out. There's a slap back delay in there, stereo. Feedback for 1 repeat at 15% approximately. We've got the mix low at 20%, so it's only subtle. The ping pong did need to be turned on. For the delay time, we turned that all the way up because I could hear the delay in there. It was subtle, but it wasn't like subtle. And then finally, we got a low-high cut in there, and that just kind of cleans up the highs and lows in the song and kind of makes it a little bit tighter sounding. So it may look like a lot in there, but what we actually ended up with was kind of really almost a basic blues tone, but with the room reverb and the slap back delay, it kind of makes it more of a lead guitar tone in some ways because the sustain on there, especially on bends. Sounds so good. Love that. Also, finally, instead of using a noise gate pedal, I actually use the input gate control on the path because usually I would use a pedal, but this actually worked well. The amp just needed a noise gate in there. It's a little bit noisy, which is pretty standard for a Vox. And that was when we had it on hot. So it's one of those things where maybe we didn't need it, but I do it because it keeps things cleaner. If you're playing live especially, you want a noise gate so you kind of don't hear those little undesirable sounds that can come through. And that's it. I'm happy with it. Obviously, there could be room for improvement, but I think we got the essence of the tone right. It felt right. We could probably even try winding back the distortion a little bit more. But the reason I kept it at that level was because we wanted a bit of fuzz to it. You can hear it in the original song. It's got a bit of a fuzz / overdrive in there. It's possible he's using both. He had some boutique pedals and stuff in there. So for all we know, he's got some, boutique setup to get this tone. I'm actually happy with it, and I'd love to know what you think, so let me know in the comments. If you have any suggestions or songs that you would like to see me try and recreate next, please let me know in the comments or any of the other videos or whatever. I do take requests, and, provided it's got a guitar tone in it, and, it could be any genre, so definitely hit me up. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do if you want, no pressure. If you're happy to just come watch and kind of get what you need and go, well, thank you very much for watching. But if you like what you see, I do these quite regularly, so definitely check back. But yeah, if you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate your time, and until next time.